Now, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, welcome to the latest episode of Double OT with Mark Dondero. I'm Yanni Caracas, squeezing this one in on a Tuesday. Let's start with the big sports story of the day. That would be the NBA Finals that wrapped up in 5 games. Warriors over the Cavaliers. 16-1, as you predicted on this very show a few weeks ago.
I tweeted it last night.
Tip of the cap to that. 67 wins, credentials that are there with the best teams ever. Walt Buteau would say the Warriors are the best team ever. Do you think this team is the best team ever?
I'm not going there. I understand the game has changed, but to be the best team ever, I want to see the presence of a big man. I just want one. I know the game has changed,
right?
But they're in the conversation. They're right there. And I'm not saying there's a team that's ever been put together that they couldn't beat, but I'm not going to say that they're the best team ever, not with the lack of a big man. But they're there. I mean, Jordan and Pippen, you could do the matchup game. Some of those Kobe, Shaq, Lakers teams maybe. I don't know. You got to throw one of the Celtics teams in there.
Yeah.
Probably one of the Bird era teams. And so I heard somebody mention the 83 Philadelphia 76ers, and obviously the Lakers
Malone
have some teams.
Yeah.
Kareem, a guy like that, Magic, those teams are obviously in the conversation. They are right there. I am not going to say they are the best team. I'd like a big man in order to be the best team ever.
All right, I'm also saying they're not the best team ever, but if this becomes the run-and-gun three-point era for the next 30 years, I think they will be the best team of this era. Like you said, the game has changed so much. I still think the 96 Bulls are the best team ever with Michael Jordan and Pippen and Rodman that won 72 games. I don't know what their playoff record was, but part of the reason is because they had Michael Jordan, who I still think is the best player ever. And are they there? I think they're right there with, you mentioned the Celtics teams, 86 Celtics. I think they lost one game on the Boston Garden floor that whole year. Let's say the 87 Lakers with Magic and Kareem. But if this brand of basketball without a big man, like you alluded to, consistently moves forward for the next 20 years, I think this will probably be the best team because they shoot the ball so well at a high level. They're so efficient, and they don't have a big man. But I think if you matched up, I saw this on Twitter today, if you put, Jordan on whoever, Curry or Clay, Pippen elite defender, so he goes on the other guy, maybe put him on Durant, and then Rodman, he and Draymond would be kind of like a nuisance for each other. They get at each other. So I think the 96 Bulls could match up with them. But the thing is, you didn't need elite shooters for the 96 Bulls. Steve Kerr was an elite shooter. Jordan and Pippen, because the three-pointer wasn't as part of the game as much as it is now. So different eras. But I think they will be the best of this current run-and-gun three-pointer era.
Thinking of trying to assess, different eras is so hard to do.
It's hard, yeah.
But let me just say this, okay? Athletes today, just like technology, are better.
Correct.
So just picture Kevin Durant going up against Larry Bird. And
right.
I think Larry Bird was awesome.
Right.
But is Larry Bird going to shut down Kevin Durant as good of a defender as he was? Absolutely not. So as good as those teams were, the athletes today are better. There's more technology. There's more stuff we know about nutrition and weight training and cross-training and everything else. You got to give the edge to the more recent teams, just like I would give the edge to the Apple computer of today than I would from 1992.
Sure.
Okay, so LeBron James still in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were close for a minute. People for a second, when they were up 8 in Game 5, thought maybe it could become a series. They beat the Warriors last year, but that was without Kevin Durant. Will LeBron ever get over this crop of Golden State players?
If Golden State maintains their core 4, and Cleveland is as constituted with Kyrie, Kevin Love, and a cast of characters, the answer is no. And I don't know who, Mark, the Cavaliers bring in that gets them over the hump. Who is that player? Do you bring in a big man? Does that make that big of a difference, the way these two teams play? There's rumors of a Paul George. Okay, so Paul George is on your team now. What does he do? He's a great scorer. So instead of LeBron or Kyrie scoring, he's just scoring on that play. I don't know if that necessarily gets him over the hump. So I'm trying to figure out what LeBron does in terms of recruiting this summer to get some pieces. They have Kyle Korver. They have J.R. Smith in terms of shooters. So I don't know what piece to the puzzle gets them past the Warriors. And so I think it's going to be a stopgap for him for the foreseeable future. Now, there can be a year in which one of the Warriors players goes down. Let's say someone has season-ending injury.
But we're talking about the full-strength Warriors.
Full-strength Cavs, currently constituted versus full-strength Warriors, I say no.
Okay, here's some of my hesitations. LeBron James, 32 years old. So he is older, and he's only going to go down from here. a game predicated on athleticism. Now, I know he's stood the test of time to this point, especially in these finals. He had his best statistical final ever. But that, father time. And he's not Tom Brady, and that I don't know what his off-field routine is like, but I don't expect him to be an elite athlete until he's 40. Tom Brady doesn't go by athleticism, so that's why he's been able to hang around and be as elite as he is. Do they need somebody else? Absolutely, they need somebody else. I don't know what realistically the answer is. So if Golden State is going to keep this core together, the answer is no. That LeBron James will not be able to get over this group. Now, if you bring in somebody else, if they bring in Anthony Davis, they have a chance.
Right.
Is that realistic, though? Here's what's going to be key for LeBron. Not even so, and I just brought up his age, not even so much LeBron the player, it'll be LeBron the general manager. Can he get the right player, not just a player, the right player into Cleveland without giving up anybody? Because the Paul George rumors I've heard have included trading Kyrie Irving or trading Kevin Love.
Why would you do that?
Well, I wouldn't even trade Kevin Love.
You
can't trade any of those guys if you want to be near the Warriors. You can't replace somebody. You have, unless it's, who's the next best player in the league.
And this is no fault to LeBron and the Cavs. The Warriors have 4 of the 10 best players in the league on their roster. 4 of the top 7, 8, maybe?
I would know.
Put Draymond outside there.
I'm not sure if he can that high up.
But it's an assembly of talent that we haven't seen in recent memory in the NBA.
You have to bring in somebody else. Hey, what about making a phone call to Russ Westbrook? I have no idea how he would fit on that team, but an elite talent. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
He's too much of a ball stopper.
Like a contract, right? I don't know how he fits. Contract situation, but LeBron is excellent, and we talked about his age. He's excellent at getting other guys involved and making the right play in the pass. Russ is younger. LeBron could facilitate as he gets older, be more of a point guard. I don't know what his contract situation. I know he just signed on the extension into OKC, but maybe
we'll
a trade.
See if there's
maybe
enough money
and
egoless people in Golden State to keep this going too.
We'll see.
All right, let's switch gears to football. Last day of OTAs in New England today. We'll see them last week in July for training camp. It's summer break. What is the biggest question surrounding the Patriots this summer for what has been a pretty quiet OTA session? No big storylines.
So when you say this summer, I'm assuming you mean
you're at a
training camp.
You're at a barbecue and your buddies. What's going on with the Pats? Like, what are people? What's the big question heading into training camp? Yeah.
My big question is, can they stay healthy? That's my big question. Now they're so deep, even if they lose a piece, as we saw with Gronk last year, and they weren't even as deep last year, they'll be okay. But I'm telling you where I stand. Okay, this is if we're at my barbecue. My big question will be, can they stay healthy to make a legitimate run at 16-0? That's my question. That's what I'm most interested in. Because what else am I supposed to be interested in? Are they going to make the playoffs, Yanni? Yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. Are they going to be a contender for the Super Bowl? Yeah. So I don't know what else you want me to be intrigued by. So my biggest question will be, do they keep, because if Tom Brady goes down, 16-0 is out the window. They're still a playoff team. They'll still win the division. They'll still even contend for the Super Bowl. Brady goes down, Gronk goes down, probably not a 16-0 team, but if they can keep everybody healthy, we'll be talking about potentially 16-0. So that's what I'm most interested in.
This team is set up like no team since 07 to run the table. I don't think they will. I think they'll ultimately go 14-2 or 15-1. But I think it's such an intriguing, future ahead. All this talent. You look at their roster; they are so stacked. My biggest thing right now going into the summer, and we won't see a ton of this into the preseason games, but what is the offense going to look like? How does Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady figure out with all these weapons what they're going to do? Are they going to Gronk? Are they going Nettleman? Are they going to Cooks outside? Are they running the ball? I mean, James White was there in the Super Bowl. Are they just going to do 4-yard bubble screens to James White? Is that the offense? I mean, is Gillislee going to be in between the tackle runner? So it's an embarrassment of riches. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, are they going to try to save Tom Brady's arm? Maybe have him only chuck it 25 times a game? Probably not. He's the best quarterback in the world. So I think it's interesting to see. At the end of the day, is Chris Hogan going to get 3 catches or more a game? Malcolm Mitchell? There's only one football. So that'll be interesting.
I was at OTAs, the final OTA open to the media on Tuesday, and I was watching the running backs catch passes from Tom Brady, and my head was spinning just watching that. Because Lewis and James White and all the guys they have. It's just incredible just in that spot, that position, the talent. especially coming out of the backfield, catching passes. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch how they allot the ball, how they mesh as a unit, and then we'll see where they go from here. But plenty to look forward to, and the first step would be staying healthy.
All right.
David Price, we think he's healthy. He's been, the elbow hasn't really been a problem. Pitched well a couple times and then flopped in New York. We know the issues he's had with the media, with the fans in Boston. Is Boston ever going to be a place where David Price thrives?
So my hunch is going to be no, because he has an opt-out clause after 18, I believe, so he can kind of just leave town. But he'll have to pitch well enough that he'll want to leave and get a new contract elsewhere, because I don't know if he's not pitching well, he's not going to get the money he's getting here. The only way I see it happening, Mark, is if he starts pitching well, which gets the media and the fans off him a little, and then he has a come-to moment where he says, hey, I know I've been kind of a jerk with the whole media thing, and I got to stay off Twitter. I'm going to get rid of Twitter. Maybe it's taken me some time. He needs like a Roy Firestone. Remember that show Up Close on ESPN? He needs to cry to Oprah and just let it all out. Just be honest. I didn't get on the right foot with fans and media, and I've struggled to live in this fishbowl of Boston. But I'm pitching well now, and let's make this thing right. That's the only way it happens. But he has Carl Crawford written all over him right now, right? Yeah. So ship him off to the Dodgers or some other team. But the way it's going right now with his line in the sand with the media, and he's got a bad elbow, so I don't think he's going to be the reincarnation of Roger Clemens out here. So at this rate, I don't think he will ever feel comfortable in Boston. Yeah, the answer here is no. He will never feel comfortable here. He will never thrive here, in my opinion. I think at this point, the best case scenario for David Price is that he becomes J.D. Drew. He comes up big, a flash in the pan moment in a big spot in a playoff game. Maybe he has one huge start because he does have talent. Yeah. So he's not going to just be terrible and useless. But no, he'll never pitch to his talent consistently in this city based on everything that he worries about outside of baseball and all the mental distractions he has and the mental weakness in my mind. So I think that's the best case scenario. He has one big performance in a playoff game where we can be, and we as in New Englanders or Red Sox fans can be appreciative of a singular effort, that grand slam that J.D. Drew had against the Indians in whatever game it was at Fenway Park in 07. Sucked for most of his time here. I would hope it's better upside than that. Well, J.D. Drew hit, 240 He was bad. And Price already has been better than that. But he didn't, but hold on. J.D. Drew didn't have the expectations of David Price. True. So that kind of levels the playing field. He can be 16 and 14 every year as long as he pitches well in October. That's right, but he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. So I think at this point the best case scenario is that you get one shining moment in the playoffs, and that's that. All right, last topic. What do we got? The Boston Celtics. Gordon Hayward apparently flirting. Is that a fair assessment? Heavy flirtation. So not only did his wife put a Celtics onesie or something on their little daughter, but I just saw today Isaiah Thomas just started following Gordon Hayward on Instagram or something. So the rumors are flying. Here we go. The eyeball emojis. Is Hayward to Boston a done deal? Done. 100% signed, sealed, and delivered. He is just waiting for the date in which you can make it official. He's got his college coach here with the second best team in the East and a perfect slot for him right in that team to come in and score 20 points a game. Listen, I think the relationship he has with Brad Stevens supersedes any other scenario he can have out there. And Boston has the money to give him the max contract he can get. Other than Isaiah Thomas, no one on this roster scores a ton of points, so he can get his 20-plus here. And I think, where else is he going to go at this point? If he can't make more money elsewhere, and he's not joining the Warriors or the Cavaliers, this seems like the perfect fit to me. Who knows? If we learn anything from Tom Brady and Giselle, it's that the wife spills the beans, right? So I think she did that on social media with the kids in the Go Green shirt or whatever it was, presumptuous. Which was, a little aggressive on her part, but it's done. That's fine. I don't disagree with you. I think it is done. I think that he will be a Celtic, and I think basically, as you alluded to, or as you said, the main thing is Brad Stevens, college coach. Yep. Playing for your college coach in the pros, is gives you kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling, I would think, if you had a good relationship with him and everything. So I think he is going to be a member of the Celtics. Would I have my agent call the Cavaliers? Sure. I mean, why not? See what they can. I mean, because you'll be in the finals.
And you'll be in the finals. So if I would make that phone call. But if that doesn't work out, if they couldn't come close to the Celtics' money to get Gordon Hayward, then I would just go to the Celtics and play for my college coach. You'll be on a good team. You can convince yourself that you're going to put them over the map,
Sure.
or over the top,
right.
or on.
And isn't that the goal for every free agent, to be impactful once you get there, to get a team to the next level, as opposed to Durant, who just joined the party? Right.
Gordon Hayward will be able to come and convince himself that he'll put them over the top, that he'll be the leader, the face of the Boston Celtics. So that's a big deal. It's a storied franchise, and Brad Stevens will talk about that, because Brad Stevens talked about that when he took the job.
Yeah.
I believe the quote was, like, this is the Boston bleeping Celtics, or something like that.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Right. And I don't think he'll be the face over Isaiah. You do?
No, but you could convince yourself of that. If Isaiah's a little older, you come in, you're an all-star, Isaiah's an all-star, but you could come in and be the face. You could convince yourself of that. I'm not saying he would be. That's, I think, something that he's been thinking about. It just seems too perfect, and it would be an upset at this point if he doesn't
Hopefully it's
become a
better
member
than
of the Celtics.
the college pro situation with Rick Pitino and Antoine Walker, coached him at Kentucky, and then Celtics.
Well, it's not like Walker wasn't a good player.
Yeah, he shot 43s a game and hit about 20%.
But when he made them, though, it was awesome.
Had the wiggle.
Oh, yeah. He's wiggling on TV.
Well,
Yikes.
the web.
All
right, that'll do it. Anything you want to add?
Just a big thank you to our newest intern, Tyler.
All right,
who's
Tyler.
Here. Great voice. We'll get him on the air at some point to let you hear his voice.
All right, you can catch full episode online every week, WPRI.com, search OOT, and on iTunes, search OOT. Thanks for watching.